Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on the YouTube account and we're looking at the long-awaited guide. Rockaday finally dropped the Beast Guide on here, so we're going to go through this. I want to break it down, and as you can see right now, we talked about Beast Resonance 18. Getting them to 18 is an absolute priority. You can even see Slumbering Seal I have at 30, even the Owl Talisman, even the Panda Dumpty built out well above that level 18, because essentially when you get to 18, you have all the skills and abilities. Only thing that you're adding at this point is additional stats when you're leveling up these beasts past level 18. But once you do get to Resonance 18, it is a game changer. So let's go ahead and look at this. All right, guys, so here is our level 18 plus guide, which is crazy. Cursed Realm, Nightmare Corridor, Treasure Scramble by Rockaday and V-Lab. So big shout out to them. I will put a link down to the guide below. This is something that you need to bookmark because, of course, this is going to be huge. There's a ton of notes. We're not going to read through everything, but you'll notice in here that the usage rate, we are still seeing the Owl at a 99% rate. Now, when you start looking at these, and once you do get them to 18, there is a very specific way, as you can see right here, top tier, meaning when you get additional copies. So when we're looking at getting to 19 to 20 to 21, if you get the Beast Resonance up to that 18, this is where you want to focus all of your additional copies in here, and that is very important to note. Now, of course, even looking early game, starting mid game, late game, the Owl is used. When we start looking at campaign formations and we get into 7 teams, then you look at something like the Temple Rift. When you start looking at 3 different teams within the towers, these beasts are an absolute priority when it comes to the usage, when it comes to the priority and having these out. Again, that is why I stress why it is so important to have these built. Now over here, note the Owl is the single most used pet in the game, basically everywhere, and it fits almost into every single formation, which usage rate could even be up to 100%, but you never know. Owl in other branches are not as good, but the investments are not very bad. You can see we even have a lot of very good in here and a couple average within here. So breaking this down, I want to run through all of these because these are important. Now, when it comes to Panda Dumpty, this is another one. Second most used pet, most impactful. The reason is crit damage amplification, damage immunity, and it removes the crit damage amplification cap, allowing heroes to actually just go exponential on the damage. You'll notice here, top tier. And when we look at the branch strength and also Treasure Scramble, absolutely top tier when it comes to PvP because it does have that immunity, which is massive. When we start looking at the heroes in general, most of them do have an immunity and do have a pretty big immunity, which is kind of crazy that they're adding it to everyone else. The ability to either cheat death or come back to life. Now, looking in here, the Ghost is really controversial. That is why they did the update. They did some adjustments in here. It was bugged from when it came out. You could deal some crazy amount of damage with him. And as you can see right here, 77%. Usage on him, pretty good within formations. Very good in a lot of these. Now, then we get into the Slumbering Seal. Now, of course, this one, as you can see, a lot of places, top tier, very good. This is used in kind of an ult formation. It is the most unique pet, as he notes here. 100% usage rate in the Cursed Realm and the Treasure Scramble because of the teams that he's with. Not really so much the pet himself, but it is the build with the heroes. We've always referred to it as the 6th hero in a team because the damage that the seal puts out is just insane when it comes to building it out and seeing how much damage the seal is putting out in formations. And as you do level him up exponentially, he gets stronger and stronger. And as you can see, he can be used in pretty much every formation, being either very good or top tier in a lot of formations. Then we get into Ibis, which we know is the special pet that we got 58%. Seeing it in some places, not a lot of places. It's a good option. Used a lot in the Treasure Scramble. Really not used in a lot of other places. And of course, when we start thinking about the Cursed Realm and the Treasure Scramble and the Nightmare Corridor, because they go through different iterations and different rotations, we are seeing different pets in there, which makes it very important. And of course, when you start looking at some of these, I know this is from the perspective of those 3 game modes, but when you start looking at campaign formations, tower formations, things of that nature, some of these are actually used a little bit more than we're seeing in other places. Then we have Aurelius right here, basically neck and neck, right about the same with the usage rate as we see them. But you can see designed to be mostly alongside normal attack damage dealers. When we think of Raku, that has normal attacks, and a couple other ones, it's kind of crazy, but surprisingly, Int is the best. So intelligence is the best branch by far, giving them excellent stats. It's got crit, proficiency, insight, and that magical pierce in there, which is very good. Then we get into one like a Fox Fatale. Now 41%, again, in these game modes, not super effective in a lot of other game modes, including the crowd control ability within campaign formations, has a lot of utility in those formations. Then we have the Moth. This is one that used to be best in slot, the Phantasmoth, especially when we were running the Awakened version of Thane in a lot of formations, buffing up those normal attacks, the attack speed, but also ignoring the defense rating. It was best in slot with Trishea for a while, and I believe it is still in there with the original version of Baden. Then we have the Ice Crown, PvP monster. When you think of Treasure Scramble and you think of the ability to keep those heroes like the Awakened version of Lucius, looking at Iran, looking at Skyland, keeping those heroes alive, PvP for Ice Crown is an absolute necessity. And then, of course, we do have the Shroom Spooter. This is one used in Curse Realm some, but not a lot of places, losing a little bit more momentum. But again, this is another one when it comes to the actual formations within the campaigns, it does make a big difference on where these heroes or where these beasts are actually being used. Then we move into the second page. As we can see here, Talisman. This one is part of the old trio, which was, of course, Talisman, the Winged Lion, and the Owl, which were huge. Owl still having a lot of utility. Talisman, the only place that Talisman really does shine is when you're facing Graveborns and, of course, the Hypo heroes because of the crowd control factor that they have in there, but again, not being used in a lot of different game modes. And you'll notice with all of these, pretty much bad or average in a majority of places. And then, of course, the Rock Lizard. The Rock Lizard was kind of broken when it came to the Awakened version of Belinda, but at this point, it seems like, you know, with the Panda Dumpty replacing essentially the Rock Lizard and a couple other ones, these are not the priority to build anymore. And even going down, some of these have not seen a lot of utility at all. And it's sad because looking at like a Belbella, which is just super broken in companions, this really had no utility within AFK Arena within the classic version. And of course, because we've had a lot more beasts, not used in a lot of different places. PvP, upon the release, upon when this hero first came out, it was pretty broken in PvP and only there. And then, of course, was quickly replaced. We got the Savage Souffle. We have a couple down here that have never really been used. This one, which was the feline, was actually used a little bit when the Awakened version of Shamira came out. Did require a big build, but as you can see, guys, this is the bad and the very bad all the way down there. And even the new beast, as you can see right here, doesn't have any upside compared to the beast that we already have. So let's look at this tier list and break this down on how you're going to build these. All right, so here is the actual order of the building. When you start looking at these tier lists, it's pretty interesting to see because, as you'll note, these are the two big ones to build. And then, of course, we do have right here. Now, you'll notice that depending on the tier, depending where they are, they do have the ability. And you'll notice that we have the intelligence icons, we have the strength. We also do have how to build these out for the intelligence. So you can really go through this tier and look at the rank of where to build them or how to build them once you do get over that 18 level. So essentially, once you get to that point, and of course, building out the Owl rank number 1, building out the Panda Dumpty, and then of course, building out the Slumbering Seal. This means that these are going to be your focuses. When you start unlocking beasts, when you get to the point of unlocking the beasts, these are going to be the 3 that you're going to drop in the tier list. And essentially, the only time you're going to be rotating these 3 out are when you're building other beasts to get that resonance level higher. That is going to be the only time. And a lot of players even keep one like the Owl in there, which I don't recommend. It's going to build them a little bit slower, but you can do the beast spice trick, whatever you want to call it, for resetting beasts that have essentially built above and beyond to bring them up. There's a whole trick. There's a video out there for it. But you'll also notice that Panda Dumpty in here for intelligence, and then of course for agility. And as we go through here, there's a couple that are strength in here, but you'll notice the repeat of the panda right there. And then of course the panda's a little bit further down here. And of course you'll notice that a lot of these, even going all the way down here, I mean, you're getting 16, 17, 18, getting to the point of building these out is going to make a really big difference when it comes to the tier list. And you can see it goes all the way to 63, which is kind of crazy. Now, looking at this, like I said, the tier in the rank of kind of where you want them to be. So intelligence for that owl is number 1, followed by intelligence from panda. The reason for this is when you think of the mage classification, when you think of the support classification, because for the seal, it is the exact same where we have the intelligence in there. You have so many different heroes and so many different areas of AFK Arena, so many different factions that do fall right into that exact same intelligence classification, because it does cover the mages and the support as well as some other heroes within, again, AFK Arena. And then we have the agility in here with Panda Dumpty, again, still being run in a couple different places. But overall, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Absolutely wanted to break this down. Big shout out to VLab and Rockaday for putting this together. Again, there's going to be a link down below, but let me know in the comments what you guys think of the guide. And as always, thank you guys for watching.